Well, good morning, and I want to thank all of you for being here today as we talk about immigration reform. This is one of actually three, maybe four bills that are out here. I think the other three has already been presented. Immigration reform in the state is a very difficult one. It affects a lot of people, a lot of people's lives. Um, and when I first thought about the immigration reform and looking at the bill, I wanted to try to come up with a bill and a law that that wouldn't be so stringent and hurt us economically in the state of Georgia. So that's what this bill attempts to do. I'm the last one that really wants to hurt us economically. I'm the last one that wants us to put out um, put businesses out of business. I want businesses to stay in business and prosper. But when you think about illegal immigration, um, that the question is a very simple one. Do you want immigration reform, or do you not want immigration reform? Now, that's a very simple question. The problem is the solutions are not too simple, and it's going to take some difficult solutions for us to work with and to try to solve this problem in Georgia. Let me just go through a little bit of what the bill says um, and the purpose of the bill. Everybody has seen the report, or a lot of people have seen the report this week in the AJC, where it actually says that we're sixth in the United States. I think over 325,000 illegal aliens are employed in the state of Georgia, and that makes us sixth in the United States. We are seventh in the United States in total illegal immigrants. So, what we want to do is have the employers. This is mostly an E-Verify type bill, where the E-Verify system will be used to have the employers check on their employees to make sure that they're in this country legally, working legally under the proper visas. The E-Verify system, the section number 2, it starts with section number 2. Section 1 just gives you some abbreviations of what the bill is requiring. Section 2 actually goes into the public sector of the E-Verify system, which is already in law. We passed a law in 2006 that said the public sector, that's the states, the counties, the cities, are supposed to be using the E-Verify system. When we looked at what was happening within the states and the counties and the cities, we were finding out that they were not using the E-Verify system as the 2006 law dictated that they were supposed to use. So this bill it requires and it proposes more penalties for the public sector when they're not using the E-Verify system. It proposes some fines. In some cases, they could be subject to fines. They could be subject to a misdemeanor, and I'm talking about the agency heads that are responsible for making sure this E-Verify system is used. So it has some pretty stringent penalties for the public sector. The third section of the bill goes into the private sector, and the private sector in this bill is required to use the E-Verify system. There is a section in there that says if a person or entity has applied for an H-type visa, if they have made application with the U.S. Department of, I think it's U.S. Department of Homeland Security or Health or Labor, if they have applied for an H-type visa, then this bill will not apply to them if they've made application for those H-type visas. This does a couple things. Number one, it gets a lot of our agricultural industry on board with applying for the H-type visas that the federal government already has out there. And of course, if they choose not to do that, then they would be subject to the E-Verify system under this law. Then it goes on to say that private companies that that are using the E-Verify system, if they're not using the E-Verify system, then they would be subject to a warning on the first go-around. The second go-around, if they come back and they're still not using the E-Verify system, they could be subject to as much as a $10,000 fine. On the third go-around, if they're still not using it, then they would be subject to losing their business license. I do not want to just go in and take a business license away from them and put them out of business. I want them to understand that this is a bill not to be punitive, but a bill to try to get them to verify who's working for them. And I don't, people have a big problem with that, but some people have a big problem with it. But employers today, you have, in some cases, you have your employees drug tested. In some cases, you do background checks. I mean, you're wanting to find out who's working for you. And that's what this does. That's what this bill is supposed to do, is get the employees to where they can check their employees and find out if they're in this country legally. The fourth and fifth section deals with really verifying the law that's already in place about whether we can, under the federal laws, we can already stop, and if we stop somebody for a violation such as a traffic violation, the police stops somebody for a traffic violation, they can already ask if they are in this country legally or if they have papers to prove that. That's already a federal law. I mean, that's here. So we're not doing anything different in that law than what's required in the federal law. And that just, all it adds is there's a new system out that actually allows the police to fingerprint on the side of the road, and that's being tested in several parts of the country, and that it added that particular part into that bill. But that's basically what the bill does. Let me reiterate that it's an E-Verify type bill. It's a bill that is going to require that the employees check and verify who's working for them, and it is to try to discourage illegal aliens from coming into Georgia, taking jobs from Georgians, and taking and costing our healthcare system, costing our education system, costing the taxpayers of Georgia. It is designed to stop that. I mean, our system in Georgia is for our citizens and legal residents of this state, and we should be concerned about, are they receiving their benefits? Are they receiving the benefits they're entitled to before illegal aliens gets benefits? And that's what the bill is supposed to be doing.